Vande Gujarat.
Hello everyone, welcome back once again to yet another session of Business English Skill Module 2. I welcome you all. I hope you all must be fine and you are now ready with your journey that how we can improve our listening skills when it comes to business English communication. Linguaskill business. Yes. And now again in the last episode I told you what is the test format and everything, and today again I'm going to share with you all the important tips and tricks which will help you to understand a greater concept of all the modules, and you will be also able to understand how in a well recognized manner we can solve all the tests. So let's start. So you can see here our focus is on the tips. So we are going to talk about the tips for the Linguaskill business exam. So in the last episode, I told you that it is divided into 3 sections: reading, after that, writing, and speaking. If I'm talking about the length, it is going to be 60 to 85 minutes, right? And writing is going to 45 minutes, and again speaking, the length is going to be 15 minutes. So there are 2 kinds of question. First is listen and select, and the second one is the extended listening. In listen and select, you are going to you have to listen to one small recording, and after that you are going to get 3 related pictures from the above conversation, out of which you have to select one. And in the other part, extended listening, you are going to listen to a long conversation which is going to be followed by some multiple choice question, and the questions are asked in the same way as in the terms of recording. So you have to understand all these questions. So let us understand about the tips. So before understanding about the tips, I am going to break down all the language proficiency tested by the Linguaskill business. So if your score is like 180 plus, you are on the CEFR level, which is C1 or above. 160 to 179, which is B2, 140 to 159, B1, 120 to 139, that is A2, 100 to 119, that is A1, and if your score is like 80 to 99, then you are below A1. So this is our CFR level, and this is a criteria on which the language proficiency of all the individual candidates are checked. Now, tip number 1, understanding the keywords are important. Whenever you are going through the audio and whenever you are listening to the audio, it is very important that you understand the keywords. Keywords means all the important words which are in your conversation. It may be a noun, it can be a verb, it can be an adjective. So all the important keywords you need to understand how they go according to the audio in the conversation. Maybe if you are understanding in that in detail, then you are able to understand that how I can answer. The understanding, catching, your ear should be tuned. Whenever the audio is played, then your ear must be tuned to the keywords. You have to catch, okay, what the speaker is talking about. Is he talking about a seminar? Is he talking about the conference? Is he talking about the sales figure? What is the talk all about? So the moment you are questioning yourself, you are questioning your mind, then obviously what will happen? You will understand the keywords, and then at that time your difficulty level will go down, because now as you have understood the keyword, then automatically your answer will be done because you have understood the right keyword. So dear candidates, if correct understanding of the keyword is there, then you will get your all answers wrong. Right. So let's tune into the next tip. Our next tip is, sometimes it happens that you're listening to lots of words in the conversation, right? The same word which is as an answer of your multiple choice question. the options which are in the multiple choice questions, the same options are in your question. Same words are repeating, question and same in the answer. But that doesn't mean that your answer. You are listening to that word in the audio and the same word is in your choice. But that doesn't mean your answer. The word may be discussed in your audio, but you have to choose the appropriate answer. You have to go according to the answer, according to the question, and just see that whether the question matches with the right option or not. So that is the second tip, and let's focus on the third tip. Go with the audio. Yes, you have the whole control on your mouse, on whole control on your audio. So you go with the audio and you can play audio twice. So audio is played in the same manner the questions are lined up. So very important to go with the pace. It is very important, dear candidates, that as you have the liberty to listen to the audio 2 times, so you can control your audio. When you have to listen, you can read the question first and then you have to listen to the question first and then you listen to the audio. So it's up to you that with which mode you are comfortable. Next, it becomes easier for you to understand the question with your convenience, right? So as you are having the whole record, the play button in your control. So it's up to you. If you want that you should read the questions first, so I would advise you that it's better if you can read the question first. So read the question first with your convenience. Take your time to go through all the questions, match the keywords, talk about the keywords and with which tip this is all about. So go through the keywords and it will become easier for you to understand all the keywords. So make yourself comfortable in all the situations. Tip number 5. Question option. Yes, there is a question, there is an option, right? So go through the question, go through the option, read the question, read the option, match with the keywords, focus its association with the context in the right context. So that will make your listening quite easier. Because now as you have read the questions first, you're already aware now what kind of things are there, what kind of questions are there. So as you are already aware, so there's no any point of confusion. You are aware. Okay, this question is this, and okay, and in the audio this is asked this. So you are quite sure that this is a question and this is to be followed by this answer. So we have to make sure all these things. Question number 6, listening for the meaning. As I told you in the first episode that 7 C's of listening. So again, you have to listen for the full meaning. Make sure you listen to each and every information, each and every word uttered by the speaker must be clear with its meaning. What the speaker is talking about, where the conversation is going, is there is a dispute between the conversation, is there is a teaching, is there is a motivation. So you find that in what context the speaker is talking about. The moment you talk about the context, again your mind will be tuned with the question. Okay, the speaker is talking about a sales product which is going to be launched in the market. You will answer, okay, when is the product going to be launched? Just for an example, if this is the question, then your mind will be tuned to that. Okay, there is a dispute between the HR team and the sales team. Then okay, your keyword is dispute. And what is this dispute about? You can go into the listening button and then you can play it and then you can read the questions, and it will go in the same order. So it will be a wonderful, experience. You will listen the questions and you will answer it accordingly. So that makes your whole listening process very much easier. So let's move to the next tip. Let's see what it's all about. So our tip number 7 is try to picture objects in the mind. Yes, actually it happens that whenever we talk about something, there is a picture in our mind, right? Suppose if I talk about Mahatma Gandhi, the moment I'm talking, there's a picture in my mind. Similarly, when you're listening to any conversation, then there is a picture in your mind. So maybe you are listening about an important personality. then focus on that picture, focus on the noun, right? And just then the picture is what kind of actions are done on that. So focus on the verbs. Again, is this picture has got any qualities in it? For example, Mahatma Gandhi, the audio is about Mahatma Gandhi. So maybe the speaker is talking about the qualities of Mahatma Gandhi. The speaker is talking that, okay, he was a hardworking person. He loved peace and non-violence. That you are focusing on kinds of adjectives which are used there. And focus on adverbs too. That means how the speaker has done kind of action. Mahatma Gandhi spoke very politely. Maybe that politely, that forms your adverb. So whenever you are picturing something, make sure that picture is in your mind, and that picture, that is a noun, and what that noun is performing the action. So when you are listening to something, an image, and what kind of actions are performed by the image, what kind of qualities are that in image, and what kind of what level, what degree of action that image is doing. So try to picture objects in the mind. So there should be a sense of imagination. Now we are going to focus on our tip number 8. Do not match up the words with the audio. Yes, this is the mistake that some of the candidates do while listening to an audio. Yes, you should not do that. While listening, if you match up the words, you are doing a great problem for you. So do not match up the words. Instead, you have to listen for the complete understanding of the talk is very much important. We are not here to match the word with the audio. Rather, we are here to talk about the full meaning. So listening for the meaning is very much important. We cannot match. Okay, the speaker is talking this word in the audio. Maybe this is the word. No. Because they may be using an antonym for that. They may be using a synonym for that. Maybe they have paraphrased the whole technique. Right? So these terms I will be discussing in the other modules. But yes, this is a problem. They are asking questions, but they are not asking the questions in the same way which is in the audio. They are going to make some twists and turns. They are going to make the questions little bit of, spicy. Maybe they are adding some words. They are paraphrasing it. They are rewording it, and then they are putting in the questions. So dear students, it is very much important that you must understand that how it is to be done. Now let's move to our next. So our next tip is do not match up the words with the audio. That was our first tip. Next is learn paraphrasing. So candidates, when it comes to paraphrase, what we have to do? We have to learn paraphrase. This is a very important tip to get maximum success in the terms of listening. Yes, we have to learn paraphrase. Paraphrase means, suppose I'm speaking something to you. You are listening my lecture and I'm speaking something to you. Now, the same information being given to you by me, you're going to tell to your friend. But are you going to tell in the same way? No. You are going to reword my tips, reword my saying, reword my understanding in your understanding. And that is paraphrase. Sometimes your mother tells something to you, right? Sometimes she explains you to something to you. And if you're explaining the same thing to your friend, are you explaining in the same way? No. It's not there. So what are you doing, dear? You are just paraphrasing it. You're reading a story, but are you telling the story in the same manner which is written in the book? No, you're paraphrasing it. You're watching a movie, you're listening the dialogues, but are you telling the dialogues in the same way? No, you are rewording it. So that technique is known as paraphrasing. In the beginning, when you will start doing paraphrasing, you're listening to some audio and you're doing paraphrasing, it is so much fun. All the time you're trying to tell the words of other people in your own words. You're rewording it. So it becomes so much fun when you are doing such kind of things. So paraphrasing is a great technique, and in this your questions, they are just paraphrasing it. They are not giving the same word as asked in the audio, but they are rewording it and then they are putting it into the question. So that is the reason that, dear students, we have to follow, we have to learn the art of paraphrasing. So let's move to next step. So our next step is understanding business vocabulary. Yes, I have seen that people, they struggle a lot when it comes to business communication, because they are to be make themselves aware and familiar about the all instructions, about all the words which is in the business world, and that is the reason that they have to make themselves acquainted with all the business world, and that involves your real participation. That shows how much you are interested in building up your vocabulary. Because even you are listening to an audio, but if that word is not clear to you, if that word you're failing to understand, then that time it creates a difficulty for you. So tip number 10 is involving to cover all the important sections of your society wherever you are going for a business trip. It can be a business trip, it can be an air travel, it can be an advertisement, it can be selling, it can be employment, it can be insurance, it can be law, right? So wherever the business go, you have to understand for the business vocabulary. Once you're in employment, once you're in a job, once you begin and you have to talk with your clients, you have to expand your business, then one person must be aware about the business vocabulary. So this tip will help you to understand the business vocabulary from all the aspects, and this becomes easier for you to make it happen in all the aspects. So dear candidates, now the time has come when we have to understand it with full concept. All this vocabulary will be explained to you in the coming modules, where you will get to know about all the important vocabularies which are used in business English professionals. So let's move to our next step. So in this, I'm going to have taken like few of the sales vocabulary, right? In the coming time, suppose if you get a job or if you hear a conversation which is all the time focusing on the sales. So you might hear an audio and you are coming across with such kind of words. Then at that time, it becomes very much important that how you can focus on your sales vocabulary. So it is very important that you understand this word. I have given I have taken some of the important words which I heard in a sample conversation, and I am just putting it here for your understanding so that you understand it very well and you understand what the whole concept is. So very first word is complimentary gift. Complimentary gift is a kind of gift which is given in a sales which has not been charged, it's free of cost. Decision is a very common word. So it happens when you are asked, okay, what's your final decision on this? Wholesale. Wholesale is a kind of term which is used in sales when we say when you are going for a bulk purchasing, bulk in too much quantity, then that is known as your wholesale. Prospect, yes. Prospect in sales means which is your client. We are talking about the client. Unbeatable. Unbeatable means which giving you a very tough competition. Oh, my product is something which is unbeatable. Bargain. Bargain comes in sales when we are asking sometimes to reduce the price of a commodity. So that is your bargain. Supplier. Supplier means one who supplies something, one who is supplying anything to you. So that is known as your supplier. Retail, you may be aware, retail which is not giving you wholesale but which is targeting the local people needs. So that is a retail business. Quotations. Quotation again is a sales vocabulary. Suppose if you are making your house done, you're making your house renovate, then you are asking the business people, okay, tell me your quotation, and they will come up with a different price amount. So that is your quotation. Trial. Yeah. Trial is a very important word when it comes to sale. We are giving you 15 days free trial. That means free uses. You can have it and you can use it. In sales vocabulary, a very important word is cold calling. What is this cold calling all about? Cold calling is something if you're making a call to a customer, but you don't know that person. So that is known as cold calling. I have taken few of the vocabulary which I heard in a sample conversation, but make sure you have enough of these vocabulary in your mind so that whenever you listen an audio which may be focused on the topic sales, then you should not be thinking that what is the meaning of that word. So digging into the sales vocabulary will help you to get the best of the vocabulary. Expanding the vocabulary is also a key to listening. The more you're expanding your vocabulary, your ears will be tuned to more listening, your ears will be tuned to more understanding of the words. So I always recommend my students that, okay, now the time has come when you have to expand your vocabulary, because expanding vocabulary is the key to success. So try to expand everything. The more you expand, just think that, okay, whatever the words are, I'm going to learn 10 sales vocabulary today. You can pick any of the topic. Now I'm going to talk about my next, which is human resource vocabulary. In business, in every organization, there is a human resource team which is responsible for hiring and firing of candidates. Yes. So that human resource vocabulary is also going to help you, because sometimes it happens that in the audio they are taking the conversation from a human resource person. So that's why it becomes very easy for you to understand those human resource. So any human resource, they're having a mission, vision, and they're having some values. So let's see what are these words. So I have taken all the important words that if you come across in the terms of listening, it's really going to help you out. The very first word is your wage. Wage is the amount of money, the amount of money which a person is paid for his work done. So that is your wage. Retirement. Retirement when you are already crossing a certain age limit, and when you are taking leave from your company, from your organization, then that is your retirement. My boss retired at the age of 60. Systematic. If any of the things are done in a company in a very organized way, then that is known as systematic. For example, the HR team told that I want my things to be done systematically. So that is systematic. Careers, already aware. Career, the profession which you are choosing. Recruitment. Recruit means when you are hiring any candidate for a particular job profile. So that is recruitment. Employees, when workers in an organization are working. So that is known as employers. Authority, the person who has the power to take the decision. So that is known as your authority. Vacancy, it's talk about the job post. Payroll, payroll means the cutoff, the salary on which you are. Pay slips, like you're getting a salary and getting a printout of your salary slips. That is your salary slips where every information is included. Expertise, when some person is expert with that. Trainee, when you're working in a particular company to learn something, then it terms a trainee. Maternity, maternity means a woman who is getting a certain time duration of leave before pregnancy and after post-pregnancy, then that is known as your maternity leave. Employers, the person who are hiring you. Resources, all resources may be human resource and whatever the facilities which a person is having in its team. So that is resources, credible, that is important. So all these vocabulary is going to help you in your development, in your listening skills. Maybe there is a conversation where the boss is talking about the recruitment, is discussing about the payroll, pay slips, and at the same time he's talking about his resources that needs to be expertise, and they're asking that for this we need to hire someone with a good credible experience. So all these things are going to help you. And this human resource vocabulary they are the most common vocabulary which you may listen in any of the conversation, and this will really help you to improve your listening skills. Now similarly we are going to focus marketing vocabulary, right? As I told you that when you are listening something, you will listen to any of the aspect of the business. So same is with the marketing concept. So marketing concepts, there will be a brand. Okay, so in market, they transfer brand a certain name, then consumer, the customers. And now the term is very much flourishing these days, digital marketing, because nowadays every person wants that they should be digitally trained. So that is known as your digital marketing. Again, the next word is distribution. When you are distributing something, maybe you're distributing your products to one area, that is distribution. I want uniform distribution. Label, the slip which you are putting on your product. Market, we are going for market, and then market research. Then otherwise social marketing vocabulary. Yes, these days social media is at the peak and people are using social media for their marketing. So that things, make it very much important. So marketing vocabulary is really very, very much important. And as a candidate for Linguaskill business, I think we have to understand this very importantly, that for taking your own important vocabulary from all the situations of life, whether it's a marketing, whether it's a sales, whether it's a human resources, whether it's a product selling, whether it's a conversation with the clients. So all the possible words are going to help you with the listening technique, because if you are aware about all the vocabulary beforehand, then when you will listen to a conversation, you will not feel any difficulty because you are already aware about those products. And mind it, if you are listening it to all these words again and again, then the time will come, then you will understand, oh, how simple it is to use all these words. So listening twice, listening thrice, using it again in the context form is going to give you a better understanding of all these vocabulary. So time and again, whenever you get across, if you are listening to a business talk and that business talk is something about sales, then you listen to that business conversation, but at the same time, you have to listen and note down something. Listen to all the words which are coming in the context of that conversation, and if you are writing all these words again and again, then you will feel, oh, it's such a nice experience. But I have heard this word in what context? In what context this word has been used in the conversation? So this is something which is really going to help you out from all the dimensions. I have seen candidates giving their best because they have already done so much of practice before the examination. They have listened so many things. They have listened so many business talk. They have listened so many conversations going on in official context, in business context, in different business scenarios. So they are aware. So that's why it makes you different when you are listening it differently in all the concepts. So let us move ahead with our another concept. Now our next tip is tip number 11. It is like listen to the relevant paragraph. Maybe you are, because you're getting 2 times option, right? So whenever you are listening to one paragraph and the question is in that paragraph. So there's no point. You listen to that paragraph of that question and you answer it. Focus on the content word. I just told you. Try marketing, try understanding, try targeting that what are my keywords, what I have to focus them. So that is very much important. Separate them by information, right? Separate them by sentences. Observe the words that carry the meaning. Yes. So if you are coming across so many words, it becomes very much important for you to observe the words that carry the meaning. You may are listening to so many words, but there are some words which are very simple, but there are words which are carrying the meaning. So it is very much important for you that if you are listening to something, then you have to listen for the meaning. Listening with meaning, listening with clarity, listening with coherence, that is something which is going to make you become a better listener, right? So here I will always tell you that listening, but listening in the right context and listening with the correct vocabulary, listening for the meaningful words will help you to understand the things better. Okay, now next tip is focus. I always believe that I understand you're listening, but if you're not listening to the correct part, you have to listen to the titles, you have to listen to the names, you have to listen for the genders. Okay, is the speaker, if I'm talking about a small audio has been played, will it be possible for me to guess how many genders are there? Okay, how many characters are there? How many male characters are speaking? How many female characters are speaking? Right? So I identify, I just take the picture in my mind. Okay, this conversation is between two people where there are two male characters and one female character, or one male character, one female character. They are having this name, they are having this name, and they are talking about this, they are talking about this quality, this product, or whatever. So if you focus with these skills, it is really going to help you out. So focusing on the right thing is very, very much important. Next is listening to the business news. As I always told that as you are learning for Linguaskill business, now we have to get ourselves aware, get ourselves updated about all the new words. Every day some new words are coming. Even you are listening to a lot, but we need to update a lot. So find out how they are used, in which context they are used. Maybe today you are learning a word in one context, but tomorrow again you will listening that word, but that word is going to be in other context. So I think we have to focus that how in broader context these words can be used. So set a target to learn new words every day. Yes, this should be our priority. We have to learn so many new words each and every day, but there should be a target of learning new words every day. I'm sure, dear candidates, that if you focus on this aspect of listening, broader concept of listening, then you will see how listening becomes an easy process for you. Listening, and trying to master the skill is really going to pave the way of success for you. Candidates lose patience at some time. Why I'm listening? Why? These words are same. But can we have a better understanding? Are these listening words have to be used in the similar context? What other aspects are going to be covered with them? So, candidates, now the time has come when we have to listen, and we have to listen for full meaning, full information, so that we can cover all the aspects of listening. Listening is going to help you to become a better person, because if you have the quality of listening, you can understand the things better at the workplace. You can understand the whole scenario at the workplace. You can respond to the people better, and obviously in the exams you are going to do much better. So let us focus on the other aspects of listening. Now, candidates, if you remember in module 1, I told you that how practicing paraphrasing is going to help you answer all the multiple choice questions. Yes, it means, what is paraphrasing? I told you that when you are referring an idea in different words, right? So it means when an idea is referred in different words. When we hear something, we express it in our own words. I was listening a conversation between my friends, right? I was a part of it. But when I told my other friend about it, I reworded it. So that is the message. We are rewording it. To understand an accurate paraphrase, right? Because in listening, you are listening to an audio, but in questions, they are paraphrasing it. So you must have a strong understanding of the original text. That means the audio which you are going to listen. If you have developed your strong understanding of that original audio, then it becomes very easy for you to understand all the multiple choice questions. So, dear candidates, now the time has come when you have to understand this. Changing the word and preserving the original meaning, right? You are changing the word, but you are at the same time you are preserving the original meaning. That is paraphrasing. You are changing the words, but when you are rewording it, the real meaning of that text is not lost. So that is what paraphrasing is all about. So, dear candidates, you have to understand that when I'm listening to a certain text, make sure you go with the flow, you be the flow, and you understand all the aspects. So, if you have understood the source, there will be no problem in answering your multiple choice question. Even though it has been paraphrased, even though it has been given a different dimension, different context, you will not lose focus from it. So understanding the source, understanding the audio which is being played with full meaning, it's very much important. Even though it is reworded, you will not face any problem because you have understood you have understood the original text, you have understood the source very well. This is the other thing, that paraphrase technique. Choose the content word. I understand that you people are aware about the parts of speech. You are aware. But in paraphrasing technique, they pick out the words. They will pick up a verb. They will pick up an adjective and they will use it in another way. So this paraphrasing technique is very, very much important to understand. And I must say, dear candidates, now the time has come when we have to understand paraphrasing. We have to understand it in full way, that how these paraphrasing techniques. Though for paraphrasing techniques, they are using synonyms, right? So in the question, what they are going to do is, they are going to talk about a person, talk about the qualities of that person, but that would be in other words. But when it will come in the question, that question will be in the other word. So that's why it becomes very much important that we have to understand the synonyms. Just take a small example. I will say, okay, the business delegate who visited our office last evening, they were very humble and polite, right? So I have used that humble and polite. Can I use the same words? Can I synonym it? Can I paraphrase it? I will say the business delegate who visited our office last weekend were down to earth. So this is the magic of synonyms. When you are using its synonym, you will understand that how the concept is there. Again, the other word to understand is when you have to also focus on the antonyms. Antonyms are the opposite words. So maybe you are listening in the audio, the boy is strong, the candidate was strong. And in the question, you will listen, the candidate is not weak. So this becomes the antonym. They are rewording it. They are rewording the entire information. Next, if you want to be a very good listener, then you have to catch up with the phrasal verbs, because native speakers of English language, they are using lots and lots of phrasal verbs. So for your understanding, it is important that we get to know about all the phrasal verbs. What are phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are verb with a verb followed by a preposition, followed with an adverb, followed with another preposition and adverb. So phrasal verbs are very, very much important. For example, I'm going to call up a meeting, right? So that is a phrasal verb, right? Please go out. That is a phrasal verb. Go and out. That is a phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs are very much important. And as an English speaker, we must, we have to be tuned up with this phrasal verbs. We have to understand it with our full confidence. And then the real understanding of the phrasal verb can be done. Next verb is your general verbs. General verbs, that means there are verbs which can be used in an airport. There can be a verb which can be used at a railway station. There is a set of verbs which are used in a bank. Just see, for example, if I'm standing in a bank, and a bank situation is there, then what kind of verbs are used in the bank? Bank is a place. What are the verbs? We deposit the money, right? And then we withdraw the money. Money is credited in our account. The money is debited from our account. After that, there is a transaction. I sign my slip. I fill in my slip. So these are the verbs. So for every scenario, for every business scenario where you are going, there will be a verb. For example, if you are just in a seminar or in a conference, there is a keynote speaker who is addressing the seminar. So address is a verb here. So every business situation, even in a small official meeting, there may be a different kind of verbs. There may be a verb, they are discussing, they are considering, they are argumenting, they are pinpointing. So every time when you are in any business scenario, these words are going to be used from time to time. In a hotel industry, when you are booking a room in a hotel, from business point of view, then you're reserving, you are going to a travel by air, then again there will be a different set of words. So verbs are playing a very important role. They are the key word of any English language, because in English language you cannot make even a single sentence without verb. Verb is known as the king of English language. So in business context, when you are listening to business conversation, make sure you are listening to lots of business English verbs. So what are these business English verbs? You go to a different situation, you encounter different kinds of words there, and then you will understand its importance in the business context. So candidates, I want that understanding the verb in different scenarios is very much important. Every part of speech of English language is important, but verb plays a very important role, because verb is the king of English language, verb is the queen of English language. Dear students, now I will be talking about phrases, some common phrases which I will be discussing in the common module, but I must tell, phrases are very much important, and special business phrases which are coming in our daily life, which is going to help you, which is going to understand you. So these phrases will help you in your real understanding, and that's why the time has come when we have to understand these phrases. Next is quotations. Quotation plays a very important role. Business quotations are there, so you have to understand which kind of quotations are being asked. And next is changing the grammatical structure. Yes, this also plays a very important role. Sometimes in a conversation, it happens that they are changing the grammatical structure. Yes, the sense or the essence of the sentence is the same, but they are changing the grammatical structure. So that becomes one of the most important challenge. So we have to understand that grammar structure as well. And that's why it becomes important that we have to understand the listening for the arrangement of words in a sentence. See, words are arranged in the same order as the thoughts occur in our mind. Yes, this is the magic of English language. I have taken one sentence. A handsome manager is waiting impatiently for his client with his secretary at Avenue Junction at 8 o'clock in the evening. So, I will elaborate here that how the parts of speech go in this sentence, how the word order go in this sentence. I am telling, who is that somebody? That somebody is a handsome manager, right? Is that handsome manager a male or female? So obviously that is a he. He stands for a male person, that is a pronoun. Handsome or beautiful, any such word is an adjective. Waiting is your verb. Waiting impatiently, what is the action? What is the manner of that action? Then impatiently is your adverb. Where he is waiting, then obviously at 8 o'clock you can see where is waiting. So at, that is Avenue Junction, that is a place. With whom he is waiting, then again with his secretary. And how handsome the manager is, that talks about the interjection. So this is how we are arranging different sorts of words when it comes to communication. And it comes in any small sentence, as I told you, that syntactical formula which is accepted in the terms of English languages, subject, verb and object. So there is a subject, there is a verb and there is an object. So it is followed everywhere. If there is a subject, the subject will do any kind of action. It will talk about an action. It will talk about its position. So this formula is accepted worldwide. Now I will be talking something which is very much important. Like whenever you are speaking to different kind of people, different kind of scenarios all around you, when you are throwing thoughts to your emotion, or when you are listening to something in very, very different manner. Listening is all around. We are listening to everyone. But have you ever noticed? Have you ever thought that how this listening is going on? What are the different kinds of sentences we are focusing when it comes to listening? Yes, listening is of different kinds. Right? When you are making sentencing, sometimes the listening is quite positive. Maybe your friend is talking so many positive sentences with you. So that is a positive listening. Sometimes the listening, maybe he is asking you so many questions. He is interrogating with you. So that becomes interrogative listening. So whenever you are listening to anyone as your friend, as your companion, they are going for so many listening skills and they are making different kind of sentences. So when in a lingua business English exam, when you will be speaking, when you will be listening to different kind of sentences. So these sentences can be sometimes positive, they can be sometimes negative, they can be sometimes interrogative, and they can be sometimes passive. So we are now focusing on the types of sentences which you are going to listen. So sometimes you can see the sentences can be positive. Okay, the deal was successful. The deal was successful. The business meeting was exceptional. So your ears are quite tuned. Oh, I'm listening to an affirmative sentence. I'm listening something which is positive. Suppose I'm telling, oh, I like this picture. That is an affirmative, that is a positive sentence because you are telling that I like this picture. Sometimes it happens when you're putting a question to somebody. Okay, what happened about the product demonstration which I gave you yesterday? Was this helpful for you, Miss Mary? That is a form of question. Because we are asking for the opinion. It may happen you will listen to so much of WH words. And at that time, you have to understand how we are taking it down. So WH questions are very, very much important for you from all the various. Sometimes it happens that you may come across with so many negative words. Negative words means you may be feeling, oh, the entire advertising campaign went into fail. It was not so appealing. The people didn't like it all about. There was quite a chaos in the market. So what we are focusing, have you ever wondered? We are focusing on the negative aspect. We are focusing on the negative aspect of any product. So here the whole concept is that we are listening to lots of situations. Lots of experiences we are addressing. We are thinking about so many things. We are listening to so many facts. But have you ever noticed that the sentences which comes out, sometimes they are positive, sometimes they are interrogative, sometimes they are negative, and sometimes they are passive. So Dear students, at that time it becomes very much important for us to understand what kinds of sentences are there. Are they the positive one? Are they the negative one? Are they really the passive? I will explain passive. What are the passive sentences? For example, I'm saying passive sentences are those where the identity of the subject, the identity of the doer isn't been lost. So we will say, oh, the deal is finalized. The document has been signed. But who has signed this document? We don't know. We are not aware that who has signed this document. So this is passive. This is a passive sentence. Okay, you say now the question paper has been leaked. But who has leaked the question paper? We are not aware about. Okay, my money got stolen. Oh, but who did it? We are not knowing. So in audio, when you're listening, you may be coming across with such kind of sentences. The sentences can be assertive, the sentences can be negative, it can be positive, right? It can be interrogative, and so many on. So now here in Lingua business exams, when you are going to encounter, you must be aware about all these tips and techniques. I will just revise in 3 or 4 minutes more that I'm sure you were aware about the methodology. The whole section is divided into 4 parts: reading and listening combined, then writing, and then speaking. What you have to do, I have given you so many tips. I have given you that you have to listen with proper attention, let's listen with focus, listen with confidence, listen for enjoyment, listen with full attention. Keep on listening, listen to business talk, business shows, note down all the vocabulary which is coming across in your mind, which you come through. And after that, try to see in what context these vocabulary has been used. Try to focus on all the listening aspects. After that, try to learn new good vocabulary every day, because I know that English is an ocean. The more you dip yourself, you will find yourself thirsty. I have seen people that they tell, oh, we have learned so many things, but every time we listen, something new comes out. So how long we have to? So any language, any literature, it's a kind of ocean. It's very big, it's very vast. And proficiency can be only achieved when we work more and more on it, when we give our best, when we try to bring the best out of it. I feel superficial knowledge will not help us to do best. I think try to focus on every aspect of any word. I just told you that how expanding the vocabulary is very much important for developing your listening skills, and how the paraphrasing technique can also help you to understand the words in a better way, to understand the questions in a better way, because in audio you will listen in one aspect. When it comes to the video part, you are going how the words are reworded, how they are used in different contexts. So make sure you go through all these tips and technique, make yourself comfortable in that position that when it comes to listening, you will not feel any problem. You will understand that how time has changed, that how technology, social media, Facebook, Google, Twitter, so many business words are giving, they are posting so many good business vocabulary. You can get it from there. So we are surrounded by lots of knowledge. We are surrounded, information is flowing from here, there, everywhere. So now we have to take the best, all the very best from each and every information, and then we can make the best out of. So dear candidates, I will see you again in my next episode with more and more information. Till then, see you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.